Hey everyone, we just switched to computer audio. Can you let me know if you can hear me now? I know we got a lot of people saying they couldn't before. Excellent, much better. Okay, so luckily you didn't miss anything exciting. Basically, what I wanted to let you know is if you have not caught the Google Marketing Next presentation, I highly encourage everyone to go to YouTube, check it out after this. You can either grab the link from this presentation or simply Google Marketing Next 2017, watch all of the presentation slides in detail. Great. So before we jump in, and I'm sorry for these little hiccups, I want to talk to you a little bit about NetElixir. So we are a specialist retail search marketing firm that helps companies find and acquire new customers online. Our team is composed of 105 fanatically analytical search marketers. We operate in 3 countries around the world, and we are both a premier partner of Google and Bing. Some of our key clients span many of the different retail categories, including consumer electronics, apparel, eyewear, and dozens of other industries. What we like to do is offer our clients a mix of 3 pillars to help them succeed. The first is our services. We are experts in paid search and shopping management, search engine optimization, and paid social management, giving you everything you need to help customers find you online and purchase from you. Next, we combine our own proprietary technology, which is unknown anywhere else in the industry, that helps us create more scale for your brand and allows you to get deeper insights into customer journeys for your brands, as well as into very specific ROI channels for your business online. Finally, we couple all of this with our consulting services, which include in-depth web analytics, digital marketing strategy, and executive dashboard designs for your brand. What we like to think makes us different is that we humanize every click. And what we mean by this is we don't just dig into the numbers and look at individual clicks in your analytics. Instead, we understand that there are real people on the other side of that computer, people with wants and needs, and people that want to connect with your brand. We take this into accord in every single account we run to make sure that we're getting you the best possible results and the best return on investment for your spend. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about our presenter today. Udayan Bose is the founder and CEO of NetElixir and has been successfully running the agency for the past 13 years. Prior to this, he was the founder of PartyBingo.com, which its parent company was one of the first true internet unicorns. In addition to his role as an entrepreneur and business leader, Udayan is also a guest lecturer at the Johnson School of Management at Cornell, at the City University of New York, and in the Indian School of Business. Now, one thing I like to mention is we do care deeply about transparency and about communicating with all of our customers and all of our fans. So I encourage you to connect with Udayan on LinkedIn after this so that you can either continue this conversation, ask him questions, or just connect to network for the future. Now, let's jump into the actual topics that we came to hear about today. So before we start, I just want to give you a little overview into the presentation structure and how we tackled this. Now, I'm sure many of you in the industry have actually gone in and looked at some of the Google updates, whether it was from the original broadcast or from one of the recaps online. We didn't want to repeat and rehash that same structure. Instead, what we're doing is looking at the actual announcements themselves and telling you in plain terms what they mean. We're then giving you our point of view on how we feel this affects the retail industry specifically. And finally, we're providing tactical, in-depth recommendations on what you can do to prepare your brand to be successful as all these changes begin to roll out in the next few weeks, months, and years. I like to include this graphic here to really show you the breadth of all these different changes and to show you how they all relate. Right? So there are many, many, many announcements from Google that connect throughout the different pieces, and you'll see that there are 4 main categories that these announcements came out in. The first is audience innovations, talking about different ways to target customers throughout the Google ecosystem. The second is measurement updates. How can you see what's working, and how can you connect the dots across different products and different campaigns? The third is voice search and artificial intelligence, which is a large focus for Google moving forward and connects to many of the different devices and lifestyle changes that people use with technology today. And finally, interface ideations, how AdWords is changing to become easier and more accessible to individual users. And with that, and without further delay, I'd love to hand it over to Udayan to continue the presentation.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Before I start off, let me do a very quick, so I hope everyone is able to hear me clearly. So let us just hope that all of you are able to hear us clearly. Excellent, perfect, thank you. So this time, it was in my opinion, Stephen, quite an interesting, probably almost like a milestone Google marketing event, primarily because I can't really recollect any such marketing event in the previous years where so many key announcements have been ever made at the same time. Now, if you really look at again this slide that you sort of just presented, very, very broadly, there can be 2 simple classifications. While the audience innovations and voice search and AI both talk about innovations around customers or around users or searchers, while the measurement updates and the interface ideations really are meant towards making the life a lot simpler for marketers so that they are able to focus on customers and build their strategy around customers rather than getting too entwined in just day-to-day campaign management activities. So very, very interesting stuff. Let me start off with the audience innovations. And by the way, if you like what you hear, the point of view, or have a counter point of view, we would love to sort of get your tweets on #NetElixir. So that will be that. So again, we are always open for listening to as to what your feedback is or what you think about it, your point of view, because when any announcement comes in, it's very new and fresh. And as a premier partner of Google, it's very important for us to go ahead and share all of your feedback with Google as well, so that they are able to put life to some simple announcements which they just made a couple of weeks back. So I'll just start with the overall philosophy behind all the audience innovations. The philosophy was intent plus context plus data plus machine learning really can be used together to make user engagements more assistive and useful than ever before. So again, a lot of words. Let me try to break it down and simplify this thing. So we all know that search is all about intent. When I am searching for buy shoes online, that's an intent that I have expressed. But just consider the same query, buy shoes online. Let us say it is being done by me. It is probably being done as I am probably going on my next cross-country trek. Maybe it is the same query is done by Stephen when he probably is going off to camping with his friends. Maybe the same is done by my friend Andrew. Probably he is going on, maybe he needs party shoes. So if you really sort of bring everything, the context can be very different for the same intent. So just to understand this thing, intent without context doesn't really give you a full understanding about the consumer. And how do you really get all this understanding? There are hundreds of millions of data points, or those touch points where the consumer really interacts and engages with your brand. So that is basically data. And at the end of it, Google claims that it is using machine learning to make changes on a real-time basis so that the user engagements with your brand can be a lot more assistive. Again, a very important word. So effectively, typically the concept of marketing or advertising has been throwing something at the wall or at the customer and hoping it sticks to the customer. In this case, Google is espousing a very different type or style of overall advertising, a style which is a lot more assistive. It's almost like holding the hand of the consumer and taking them through the entire consumer journey. So very interesting. As marketers, I think you have to really sort of appreciate as to how Google is forcing all of us to literally rethink how conventional marketing was done. And of course, when you make it assistive, it becomes very relevant and useful for the users as well. So with that, let us move on to the specific announcements as such under the audience innovations. The first one is in-market audiences for search and shopping. So by that, in very simplistic terms, in-market means, let us say I am in the market to buy a car, right? So there is a lot of pre-purchase searches that I would do before I even step into the dealership. Or let us say I really want to buy a Lenovo laptop, right? There is a lot of overall searches I would do. I would probably go in, do multiple searches on Google, go onto the Lenovo site. It probably will take me anywhere between a week to maybe 2 weeks to complete the entire pre-purchase search process. Now, effectively, Google now enables search and shopping marketers. It very specifically is able to highlight and build those unique segments of in-market audiences that they can target a lot more effectively. How exactly do you target effectively? You target effectively by tweaking the messages or your creatives so as to be in alignment with the different part of the overall consumer buying process. When I'm starting the purchasing process or the search process, obviously the message that you will sort of show to me is completely different compared to I have already interacted with your brand about 5 times. You know that you basically have my interest. It can be a lot more transactional, probably, for a lack of better word, a slight nudge can be given, which forces you to take that leap and make that purchase. So in-market audiences allows you to really sort of go ahead and target advertising to very specific carved out customized segments who obviously thereby increasing your chances of success. The second one, which was again very interesting, was in display advertising and Gmail ads. Google will have a segment called consumer patterns and life events. Now, effectively, if you really look at it, there are multiple life events around which there are multiple purchases made. So essentially, what Google is doing is it is trying to understand or help you better understand these life events and also all the search queries around these life events so that you can customize the messaging, customize your, I would say, the 4P offering, 4P in the sense products, pricing, promotion, and place, so as to be a lot more relevant around these life events which are important for your customer. And the last one in the audience innovation is the AMP. AMP is the accelerated mobile pages. They are being extended to search and display. That would really ensure almost, so AMP is very simplistic. If you really type in, and if you do a search on Google, right, and if you're doing it from your mobile phone, you would see that if a page is not amped up as we see, or is not really an accelerated mobile page, it will take a lot longer, in many cases more than 7 seconds to even load up the image. So the content loads quickly, but the image takes 7 to, in certain cases, 20 seconds, believe it, not to even load, right? But the problem is the mobile user doesn't really have that level of patience and attention. As a result of which, the mobile user essentially exits that particular brand experience. With the AMP pages, the images would load within a second, thereby making it a much more rich and fulfilling experience for the end user as such. So these three were all very important announcements, all very clearly focused towards helping you provide your customers a much more engaging, relevant, and responsible experience as such. So in terms of our point of view, one of the things which is very clear, I think, behind this announcement is this core concept that the consumer really needs to be at the heart of your marketing. I mean, any marketing strategy has to be built around your customer. And now, specifically in the age of this connected customer, you need to understand the full customer journey so that's to be able to personalize marketing messages. The example that I gave was, if you are in the market to buy a laptop, your first search query, you would probably expect a different message from Lenovo compared to your maybe 15th search query. A different message may sort of come up. So understanding the different touch points that the customer has through her journey and thereby changing the overall messages can really help you engage the customer a lot better. In fact, NetElixir, we have been actively championing the customer journey analytics and search marketing for the last 3 years now. And the Lenovo case study, we in fact did a webinar along with the Forrester Group last month, and you can really download our presentation deck, the Forrester and the Netflix presentation deck on the future of search marketing, where exactly this concept was emphasized, which is put the consumer at the heart of your strategy, try to understand the entire customer journey of the consumer, and create messages and show messages which are a lot more relevant and a lot more engaging. Moving on, so specifically what we have tried to do is also create a very simplistic list of actionable steps for all of you. So in terms of audience innovations, the first one was in-market audiences for search ads. What is the actionable step? You need to build very tight campaigns around the pre-purchase search queries. So first of all, you have to understand what are those search queries which lead to a final purchase. Let us say the first search query was buy business laptops. The second search query is buy business laptops within the price range of $900 and $1,200. The third search query can be buy the best business laptop which has a shockproof quality and is portable between the range of $900 and $1,200. So slowly you're looking at creating the entire customer journey or the customer path to purchase, which really enables you to craft messages at each stage which can be a lot more relevant, engaging, and as a result of which make you more successful. The second one is consumer patterns and life events. Now, I am sure that most of the retailers who are attending this, and most of the retailers probably already have specific events around which your entire brand and the marketing efforts are focused or emphasized. Probably, for example, we work very closely with Teleflora. For them, the holidays are important, and so is Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. There is a lot of importance being even done to even the other life events, like, let us say, I don't know, birthday flowers, funeral flowers, graduation flowers, etc., etc. So identifying all the different life events and really help you to customize the messages very, very in almost what we call a hyper-targeted manner for these in-market audiences. And the last one, AMP for search and display. We have given a link below, as you can see, https://support.google.com. So through this, I would request all of you to sign up for the AdWords Plus AMP beta. Google claims that every week there are 35 million landing pages which are essentially getting amped. So please sign up for this beta. So if you really are interested in Google to really sort of amplify or amp your website or landing page. So moving on to the next one, we get to the measurement updates. And again, probably it's a bit of a latent. So if you have any questions, thought, feedback, we would love to hear it after essentially this session. You can also sort of tweet about it using a hashtag NetElixir. So just the philosophy behind this is measuring the performance across funnels to make better business decisions. Now, what Google is trying to do, very specifically, consciously taking responsibility of this measurement giant, trying to unify the different sort of forms of data sources so that you have a unified data source which really helps you to focus on uncovering customer insights and taking actions which really help you to further your overall business and marketing cause. Now, very specifically, the announcements here. The first one was location extensions and store visits for YouTube TrueView ads. Very interesting. So a few years back, Google, actually 2 years back, Google provided the capability by combining with Google Maps and ability to track the in-store purchases, right? They sort of use the beacon technology, they use the Google Maps, etc., and they sort of tied everything in. And using this power of mobile, which essentially never leaves you, they were able to create the entire connected loop. They are now introducing for the YouTube marketers or YouTube TrueView marketers location extension. What does it mean? So let us say someone really searches for, I don't know, buy shoes again. That always pops up in my mind is probably the most obvious example that I keep giving. Buy shoes, essentially. You go to YouTube, type in, say, buy shoes. And suddenly you sort of see a bunch of videos. You click on any one of those videos. Now, if you really have a brick and mortar store, and if you have activated the location extensions and the store visits, what will happen is below the YouTube TrueView ad that you are running, you will get location or directions to the nearest store which from that particular customer or the potential customer who's sort of searching for or making that search query. Thereby, you're already able to get the customer engaged in the entire search, shop, buy overall process at the loop. So again, very strongly recommended. Please go ahead and activate the location extension, especially if you're advertising on YouTube review ads. The second one is the store sales measurement at the device and the campaign levels. So this is something which has been there for a very long time. So essentially, it requires you to upload your store level inventory onto Google AdWords. And what Google is saying is, we'll be able to tie this in with your overall customer buying behavior. Very interesting concept. So a big question which sort of brings together, which comes up based on both of these, there seems to be an excess focus from Google in trying to make your stores a lot more livelier than they probably may be at this point in time. Let me just put it that way. And how exactly are they doing it? They are trying to sort of help you understand the customer. And in fact, there was one statement which was mentioned by Sridhar Ramaswamy, who's the who made the first presentation in that YouTube video which Stephen referred to. Is the customer is the channel. So by better understanding the customer journey and better understanding the fact that for the customer, it is one simple, seamless experience. Offline and online, everything is blended together. That's what Google is sort of trying to do, thereby driving more traffic, and not only driving more traffic, but helping you understand how much more traffic is being driven because of your online ads on Google onto your stores. And last but not the least, Google Attribution and Google Attribution 360 were big announcements as well. So many of you are using Google AdWords, many of you are using Google Analytics. But in many cases, we have seen as we work with clients, they tend to refer to both these as separate metrics as such. Though Google Analytics has an attribution functionality, sometimes as we have seen, there are big gaps between the Google AdWords results and the analytics results. What Google is doing is Google is introducing a feature or a tool called Google Attribution 360, which sort of integrates all the different Google AdWords and analytics sources to come up with one single report. Google is essentially calling it almost like a data-driven attribution, so that you are not really placing credit on the last click, first click, and you are not really guessing all of this stuff. They are using machine learning, or at least they claim to be using machine learning, to be able to drive attribution in a lot more intelligent and a smart manner. And last on this thing is, they also have in the DoubleClick campaign manager, they have introduced unique reach and frequency reporting metrics as well. Now, by unique reach, there was a very interesting component. Now, since we are perpetually connected, it's almost like the world of the ever connected or the omni connected customer. One of the things which I think all of us know, and I think Google knew as well, that typically for the same search, it may be happening from your mobile, it may be happening for your tablet, it may be happening from a desktop, office desktop, home desktop, etc., etc. So essentially, these reports become important because Google is deduping, or they are removing all the duplicate clicks coming from the same user. Let us say Stephen is going ahead and using 5 different devices to conduct the same search. So rather than using it as 5 different people, they are saying that it's one Stephen, but the frequency is he seems to be using 5 touch points per user. So it essentially, I think these reporting is critical primarily because it helps the marketer gain a much more granular and simpler understanding of how many true, real, unique users are you reaching out to. A much better and a much more efficient way of really understanding as to how useful and how powerful and effective your marketing campaign has been. So let us see as to what our point of views are. Now, one of the very, very, very important things which Google is emphasizing is it is almost driving us to understand, or at least make an attempt to understand, which customer interactions matter and which do not matter across devices. So effectively, the new tools are really empowering the data-driven marketers to gain a deeper understanding of the customers across locations, devices, channels, and touchpoints. They have been for the last about 2 or 3 years since they introduced the in-store metrics. They are also obviously trying to win some credit for an in-store purchase by accurately tracking the in-store buyer right from the pre-purchase to the store visits. And then they are also trying to connect through third-party data connection, a very interesting second tool that they introduce as well. They are using anonymized third-party data, which they claim covers about 70% of all the customer base. We believe they may be sort of using some credit card data points as well, without obviously divulging into the details and infringing into the privacy norm. It is almost like an anonymized aggregated data. Google is trying to build something which is very unique. And I think it's very important for all of you to understand what they are trying to do. They are trying to build an in-store shopper persona or a profile and map it to the same persons or the same shoppers online persona as well. So let us say for Udayan, they are trying to build an in-store shopper persona and map it or extend it to the online shopper persona. Let us for Stephen, there would be a different in-store shopper persona and sort of connected to the. How does it help? It helps because in our opinion, we believe in a few years, I think as Google has been emphasizing for the last few years, the gap between the offline and the online experiences will vanish. So it becomes one single blended experience. And from the start, Google has a big advantage which they have been calling this zero moment of truth. So the customer actually engages with your brand before even landing on your website or blog or Facebook or whatever properties that you own, right? They are starting the engagement through a search. And starting from there till the time they make online purchases and then eventually make store purchases, if Google has a control on the entire customer journey and the entire path, they understand your profile using various tools like Google Maps, Google Translation, everything. Google believes it will really help marketers create a lot more assistive experience. Now, understandably, when you get that level of depth of information about the customer, there would be privacy claims and privacy challenges, right? How much information are you really sort of willing to share with Google? So that remains to be seen, but it is very clear, we don't have any doubt in our mind that Google is trying to create one in-store shopper profile and map it to the online persona as well to create a single shopper user overall persona. The last one here is the Google attribution, which is very clearly a step up from the current, which is rather basic and incomplete attribution functionality, which is offered by Google Analytics. So essentially, what Google attribution aspires to do is by unifying the AdWords and the analytics data, they are applying machine learning to create what Google calls a data-driven attribution model that's much more powerful and relevant, and it sort of helps you gain the right insights. So we feel that this is a massive step up and can really help you answer that fundamental question, which, I don't know, I've been in this space for about 15, 16 years now, and actually more than that, 17 years, I'm sort of dating myself, I know. So effectively, I think the same question has come up multiple times. How do I ensure that all the touch points and all the different channels that the customer touches get their due credit through the entire customer's path to purchase? And hopefully with this Google attribution, that is something which will definitely be sort of assisted. So in terms of the specifics, what are the actionable steps for retailers? Now, when you get into the measurement updates, the location extensions on YouTube and TrueView ads are very specifically for TrueView advertisers. So if you are a retailer and if you are advertising on TrueView, I mean, it's almost like a no-brainer that you have to activate the location extension for TrueView ads on YouTube. Google Attribution 360, I think, can be used and should be used by everyone. I mean, it becomes your one single trusted data source from which you are able to get a much better insight in terms of the attribution overall spread. Store sales measurement, this is very specific to retailers with brick and mortar presence, especially the chain stores. I believe it can really help. Even the local stores also, it can be a big help. What you need to do is import store level transaction data. I know I am probably through this line, there are a lot of hackles raised because many of us would not be very comfortable in importing the store level transaction data. But if you are, that's what the next step would be: import the store level transaction data onto the search and the shopping campaigns. And last but not the least, we have the unique reach and frequency reporting in DoubleClick. So this is essentially an auto deduping of users through the unique users and average impression per unique user report. So all DoubleClick campaign managers will be able to benefit from this, thereby able to measure the real sort of the true value and the impact of their advertising. With that, let me move on to the next one. And I apologize. I know it's already 4:35 and I sort of got significantly past time. And I know I've been sort of rushing in and sort of trying to make it as quickly as possible. And with my accent, it becomes doubly more difficult. So please bear with me. I think we'll be sort of sharing this presentation essentially after this. But let me move on to voice search and Google Assistant. Uh, a very interesting theme came up here, and it's a very intriguing thing. And strategically, I'll try to explain as to, I mean, what should you as the retailer know about this announcement from Google? So essentially, what Google is trying to do, it is trying to connect voice searches to local store purchases. Let me repeat that: connecting voice searches to local store purchases. There was a very interesting statistic. They're already claiming a double-digit percentage of all the searches which are happening are voice searches. To think of it, voice search didn't even exist 3 years back or even 2.5 years back. So with that, voice search is well poised to probably disrupt the way that we search or consumers search forever. So Google's announcement on this was the Google Assistant, their integration with the local store inventory data. The goal is to very clearly capitalize on the rapid growth of the transactional voice search. So overall, I think voice search, and we had done a fantastic survey report. I'll sort of share the link on my next slide, which showed that the majority of the users or the voice search users tend to do voice search primarily because of they want more information or they want to play a music. Those were the two top requirements, and that probably accounted for more than 75 or 80% of all the voice searches. But what about the balance 20%? Because there is money in the balance 20%. And Google really wants to jump in and throw in their hat and sort of grab a little bit, a certain percentage of this. And what they are trying to do is they are trying to, using the voice search process, to bridge the e-commerce gap by directing the voice searchers to local stores. And I know some of this comment or all of this comment is essentially our personal viewpoint. So it's just purely our opinions on this thing. But we very clearly see that Amazon has taken a substantial lead with Alexa over Google Assistant or any other voice search device. And the lead constantly is growing. When it comes to specifically the e-commerce search queries on voice search, Amazon is very clearly the only solution now. Now, Google doesn't sell anything from its website. So what is the way out for Google? The only way out is if it can somehow get searchers to get connected with the local stores and local store purchases. Now, if I go back to where I started off, right, the audience innovations, one of the very important measures was in-store measurements. Now, in-store measurements enables you to track what is the overall number of purchases which are being made in-store, essentially because of a search query or a pre-purchase search process which started quite some time back. So Google essentially is using voice search for driving searchers to local businesses because they want to position Google Assistant as the solution that addresses the local business opportunity. What remains to be seen, and it'll become very interesting over the next 12 to 24 months, is if Google Assistant plus location extensions and store visits plus much more accurate in-store measurement tools really can compete or have the enough power to compete with Amazon's Alexa and Prime combination. So let me repeat that. So Google Assistant plus all the in-store metrics, can they really compete with Alexa and Prime, which as we all obviously know, it's purely the e-commerce driven sort of part. I would very strongly recommend for those of you who couldn't really attend our webinar on voice search, this was actually an original research that we had done of end customers who use voice search devices like Amazon Echo or Google Assistant. I would very strongly recommend you downloading this white paper and reading through this because as I mentioned, this is the fastest growing segment of search, and very clearly voice search seems to be the big disruptor which everyone is trying to cope up with. Lastly, I get to the interface ideations. Now, these interface ideations have been created mostly keeping in mind the end marketer or the marketing agency or the search marketer, whoever it is. And the core philosophy behind interface ideations was to help marketers work smarter. Now, in many cases, many of you sort of manage Google AdWords or Google YouTube campaigns, and you know that we spend 70% of the time in doing work or tasks which are fairly monotonous, fairly mechanical, and not as much strategic. So by introducing this very simplified tools, what Google wants to do is it wants you to focus your energies around building strategies which are robust and which help you engage better with your customers. So the announcements, the first is there is a new AdWords experience which is coming up. In fact, exactly a year back, Google had announced this, and it has been in test in beta mode for the last about 8 months. So the new AdWords experience is very clearly focused on simplifying the AdWords management process and unifying the search, video, display, and shopping in one single interface. The second one, which is one of my favorites in the entire announcement process, is Google Optimize. Google Optimize integration with AdWords. This is so cool because it enables marketers to test landing pages, build, test, and tailor landing pages within minutes without getting any tech help. The next is another favorite of mine, Surveys 360. So you are running a campaign for a certain set of customers. You really want to, and let us say these customers are sort of buying from your site. You really want to know why they are buying from the site. So using Surveys 360, you can identify a certain segment of customer and run a very quick online survey to understand and get their opinion as to why essentially they went ahead and made the purchase. And lastly, they have also improved the planning workflow in DoubleClick Campaign Manager. So effectively, the entire philosophy can be summarized by these tools really help marketers plan, run, and measure advertising across a variety of publisher inventory sources a lot more effectively. The new tools empower data-driven marketers to test more effectively, thereby helping them with planning, tailoring creatives, testing, analyzing, and creating those assistive experiences. As I mentioned, Google Optimize and Surveys 360, definitely their integration with AdWords was probably my favorite part of this year's conference. These powerful tools really enable AdWords marketers to tailor and test messages and creatives within minutes without the need of a webmaster or a technical guy or a programmer, leading to much more engaging advertising and, of course, less annoying advertising as well. And lastly, we have the new AdWords interface, which definitely we believe will help boost the overall efficiency of marketers. So what are the actionable steps for retailers without this? The new AdWords experience, they have been in test phase for the last about 8 months, and all AdWords marketers will really have an access to the new AdWords interface by December of this year. Google Optimize integration with AdWords, this is something I can't really emphasize this more by saying that you need to do it right now or sign up for this thing right now, because please use the consumer insights that you have been able to uncover to run the landing page tests on the fly. And that will be available, and it can be done by all AdWords marketers which are using Google Optimize, right? So when Google has given you this tool and this amazingly powerful facility, why not really try to advertise a little more responsibly by using this tool? Surveys 360 integration, as I mentioned, helps you gain deeper understanding why did the customer buy. Again, helps you improve and make the entire marketing messages a lot more fine-tuned and effective. And last but not the least, the improved workflow in DoubleClick Manager. It really sort of helps you to manage the campaigns a lot more efficiently and so on. So let me quickly summarize the takeaways before I hand it over to Stephen. And I know I have exceeded the time limit by almost 15 minutes, so please excuse me for that. But as you can understand, there is a lot out there. As I mentioned, this probably was the maximum number of announcements or introductions which Google has done ever probably in such a conference. The first one should be, goes without saying, the customer should be at the heart of your marketing strategy. So please spend time and effort to understand her better so that you are able to market to her a little more effectively and a lot more responsibly. And the Google Audience Innovations really help you to do that. Google Attribution will provide a unified view of various customer touchpoints across channels, locations, and devices. You can use this data to plan and measure performance across the funnel to make significantly better marketing decisions as well. Voice search connects searchers to local store locations, so anyone with a local store presence, this can definitely provide you a completely additional new stream of traffic that you may not really have had access to earlier. And lastly, by simplifying the AdWords experience and by integrating the powerful yet simple tools like Optimize and Surveys, it is sort of forcing you to think customer first and create very meaningful assistive experiences. So let me hand it over to Stephen now. But again, this is the infographic which captured all that I discussed in the last about 45 minutes. Stephen, after you.
Thank you so much, Udayan, for that. I hope you all have some Alka-Seltzer on hand because that was a lot to digest. But luckily, we do have some resources available to help you understand each of these announcements more in depth, as well as understand what you can do to prime yourself for the future. Now, I don't want to sound hyperbolic, but it's hard not to in this case. Retailers that don't pick up these new changes and embrace them are going to be at a significant disadvantage to those who do. The reason for that is because of so much of the machine learning integrations in this will give advertisers that embrace these new changes somewhat of an unfair advantage. So I highly encourage all of you not to ignore these changes, but rather to sit with your teams, have a strategy session, and begin to understand how you can adapt your own workflows to include some of these new announcements, new tools, and new ways of thinking. Now, for those of you who would like to learn, I encourage you to go to netelixir.com/blog. We have some of this already published, and we'll be digging deeper into some of the most important takeaways, for example, how the future of voice search might look in the future on this blog. And I encourage you all to check it out, subscribe, and stay tuned for other updates. In addition to this, for those of you who feel that you maybe don't have the resources on hand or don't quite have the knowledge to put all of these things in place, I encourage all of you to visit netelixir.com/audit so that our team can help you with a complimentary look at your entire AdWords account to see if there are any red flags or problems, to identify new opportunities, to help you seize quick wins, to help you with structural updates to make sure your campaigns are built correctly in the first place, and to help show you some growth projections for how you can grow your account in the future. Again, visit us at netelixir.com/audit, and we will be happy to set that up for you. Finally, I'd love to grab some of the questions that I know all of you have been asking throughout the session. We will keep this quick and bring you through home at 5 o'clock so that you can all catch these answers and catch the road home. So let me jump in and take a look at some of the questions that you have asked. Okay. Matt Murphy has asked us, will recordings be provided at a later date? Absolutely. We will send everyone who attended this webinar a copy of both the video and the slide deck so that you can review this information later, maybe some light weekend reading, and also review it with any key members of your team that need information. I also got a question here from Jennifer asking, how do you see life events working for paid search? I'll hand this off to the maestro to answer this one.
Even I think live events, and specifically for some retailers, and I probably will give a good example of, let us say, any retailer probably, you would have identified specific events when your customers tend to buy more from your websites. Now, since Google, with the perpetual tracking of the customer, is able to get a pretty detailed understanding, almost like your customer graph or your customer persona has been built, it is able to provide that or share that information with you so that you are able to better design your marketing programs around those specific events which are relevant for your business. And for paid search, essentially, the way it would work, Jennifer, is essentially you would have specific campaigns very specifically targeted towards these segments which Google has pre-identified for you. So it becomes a very one-to-one correlation. How exactly do you sort of select the keywords? The keyword selection can be facilitated through the Google search traffic estimator, and through that you'll be able to sort of use the keyword list and build out the search queries and use that to build out specific live event or campaigns centered around live events, then specific right ad copies, and then with those segments which Google has identified for you, essentially connect them together.
Great, thank you so much. Carrie asks us one question: with voice searches, would they be helpful for strictly e-commerce businesses as well?
Great question, Carrie. So effectively, I think in terms of the monetization part of voice search, obviously the e-commerce businesses will gain the most. But we are very clearly seeing, and again, our research, which the link which I had shared, which tell you that a significant percentage or the majority is using voice search for either playing their music or maybe getting some information. So there may be a counterpoint which can be very clearly made by non-e-commerce companies that you can, by providing information at the right point in time, you can lead the prospective customer or the prospective searcher to your website or your web properties, and thereby ensure that there can be a much more engaging experience. But in terms of purely the monetization part of search, yes, e-commerce businesses, I think, would benefit the most from this.
Great, thank you. Perfect. That looks like, you're welcome, Carrie. That looks like it's the last question we have here. If any others roll in, we will be happy to follow up with individuals afterwards. And again, please don't be shy. If you have questions, feel free to connect with Udayan on LinkedIn. Connect with us on Twitter by following @NetElixir, or by visiting our website and going to netelixir.com/audit so that our team can give you actionable advice. Thank you all again for joining. Happy Hump Day, and good luck implementing all of these new changes for your brand. Bye.
Thank you very much.